next on our Livestream studio, we have Katrina Borischuk. She's Marketing Director for the SnackFutures Innovation at Mondelez International. Hi, Katrina.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us. So we're talking about, she brought snackies.
Some snacks.
I like her. So we're talking about Dirt Kitchen. Tell us a little bit about what's going on at Dirt Kitchen.
Yeah, so Dirt Kitchen is a new brand that we developed out of our SnackFutures Innovation Hub. We started with a consumer and a problem that we were trying to solve. So we had a consumer in mind, and we wanted to give them snacks for the afternoon snacking occasion, which we know is both a functional occasion. They want nutrition, they want fuel, they want that energy, that energy slump in the afternoon, but it's also an emotional occasion, and they want to eat something that's emotionally satisfying and delicious and makes them happy. And unfortunately, there just isn't a lot out there that delivers on that conundrum, that age-old conundrum of healthy and satisfying and delicious. So that was what we set out to do. And we learned from this consumer that actually vegetables were a great way to help them meet their health goals, and they're actually looking for ways to get more vegetables in their life. But there just wasn't a lot out there that was, again, satisfying that emotional need and the functional need. And it's not just that specific consumer we had in mind. Actually, as we set out to develop the brand, we did some research, and we learned that 91% of Americans want more veggies in their life. 91%, that's a lot of people. And obviously, as we're snacking more throughout the day and eating less meals at home, and more of our sort of nutrition comes from snacks, we were like, all right, we've got to figure out a way to make vegetables more snackable for people. And making, the texture experience wonderful, the flavor wonderful. And so that's what we set out to do with Dirt Kitchen.
Mm-hmm. And so can consumers actually expect to get vitamins and minerals from these snacks? Do they have enough vegetable content in them to get that?
Yeah, so it's actually, they're literally air-dried vegetables. So everything that's in a full, fresh vegetable, when you air dry it, it's just the water kind of dehydrating out, and all of those nutrients are concentrated into the dried vegetable. So in this line of Dirt Kitchen snacks, which is a line of air-dried vegetables and nuts with a little bit of a culinary seasoning love to them, for example, 5 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber per serving. And also they're gluten-free. 2 of the flavors are vegan. The third one we're working on making vegan now. So yeah, they're literally nutritious, delicious vegetables and nuts, this particular line. And we're working on another one that's just vegetables, actually made from what we're calling rescued veggies. So excess supply chain, ugly veggies, things like that, air drying them and making them into delicious vegetable crisps.
Awesome. So what type of consumer research has been done to sort of direct the vision of these smaller brands that are launching under Mondelez?
Sure. So everything from kind of looking at trend reports, and some of our partners obviously supplying us trends. We're walking around at all of the expos looking at trends on our own, all the way down to more conventional learning with consumers. We've done a lot of co-creation, bundle building work with consumers. For Dirt Kitchen specifically, we went in with a group of this sort of consumer that we had in mind when we were designing the innovation, and came in with multiple different prototypes and brand stories and things like that, and really co-developed the bundle with them. And then we've been doing a lot of what we're calling transactional learning. So literally learning by selling real food to real people. And then, we have hypotheses that we're testing. We're doing a lot of A/B testing of different messaging and social media and things like that. But, different from the old big company way of doing things where you do lots of testing for 3 years and then sell your first package to consumers. We're obviously trying to act more like the startups that have inspired us, and start by kind of selling what we call minimally lovable propositions to consumers early, and getting the learning from that. So Dirt Kitchen, we were doing our transactional learning on Amazon. So we've been about 18 weeks on Amazon, and we went in with a bunch of hypotheses that we were looking to validate or, disprove throughout. And it's been a really cool journey learning in that way, which again, maybe not so different for a lot of the startups, but is quite different from the big company model that I grew up in.
Mm-hmm. And how important was it? You can actually see the vegetables in these products, which is really cool. How important was it to have that as part of the snack?
Very, very important. That's actually one of the early things we learned when we sat with consumers, is that this is very different because it really is whole pieces of, or recognizable pieces of veggies. They're like, oh yeah, that's a slice of zucchini, that's a slice of carrot, and they really like that. again, and then it's about finding the right taste and texture. So we want it to look like, obviously, the whole piece of veggie that it is, but then also deliver on a delicious snacking experience as well.
And I read a recent study by Mondelez that was talking about how snacking ties into cultural and family values. And is that something that's sort of being considered with these new ideas?
Oh, of course, absolutely. The State of Snacking report obviously was a big global study that went into kind of how snacking's evolving. We obviously are learning a lot of the same things on a more micro level when we talk to the consumers that we are designing these innovations for. Well-being food in particular is a huge cultural thing here in the U.S. and in a lot of the other developed markets. So it's like food is identity and well-being is identity. So you have a bunch of consumers online that are literally like, here's who I am as a person. I'm all about well-being. These are the foods I eat. This is what I do with my free time. These are the exercise classes I go to. So yeah, absolutely. It's become a huge part of culture. For this consumer in particular, it's about sort of a well-being lifestyle. A lot of the stuff in that report also talked a lot about family and kid. You know, one of our other brands in SnackFutures that Bridget and Mel mentioned this morning, Ruckus & Co. is a lot about that mom-kid lunch packing thing, which is so important. So yes, absolutely, always in consideration.
And it sounded like from what Bridget said, a theme is disruption, looking for a place in the market that's ready for disruption. So what do you think emerging brands can take from what you guys are doing back with them?
Oh, wow. I think we're learning from them about disruption as much as they can learn from us. Yeah, I think we're all looking to disrupt what were some rather stale categories, honestly. And consumers were demanding new things. And I think we're all trying to bring consumers exciting snacks that also meet their well-being goals. So it is really about, I think, getting outside of those traditional ways of thinking about things. Within our company, we were in categories. We make cookies and crackers and chocolate and candy and gum. And in well-being, consumers oftentimes are like, I'm looking for a healthy snack. I don't know if I care what category it comes from. I just want it to meet my needs. So that's, I think, a lot of what we've been thinking about is don't be constrained by the traditional ways of thinking about things. Like, go deliver what people are looking for.
Mm-hmm. And what about trends? Like, how do you feel constrained by trends at all? There's a lot of cauliflower products, for example, lots of probiotic and prebiotic products.
I wouldn't say constrained by trends. I think we're absolutely looking at trends. We're also trying to look to the future and look ahead of the trends, and that can be really hard because no one can predict. If we could all predict the future, life would be very different. But I think we're trying to look at the trends, but also look at what the trends are signaling for where consumers are going to be and meet them or lead where we think snacking is going. So I never look at the trends as constraining. I look at them as inspiration, but also try to think about what happens next.
And so far today, any highlights, little nuggets of knowledge that you've gained or anything exciting you've seen?
I think, honestly, for me, the most exciting thing is just meeting so many awesome people here. We're new to this, obviously. This is the first time we've come to this and sponsoring it, and just meeting the variety of folks from the startup world, from our kind of world, from the venture side of things, from the banking side of things, and everybody's here because of healthy food, which is just exciting to me. We all have that shared passion and career around well-being, so that's what's been most exciting to me is honestly meeting a lot of really cool people.
And you'll have a chance, I guess, soon at the Sampling Expo once we're finished to try some new snacks.
Yeah.
Anything you've tried so far that's exciting to you?
I have not tried anything yet,
No
so I'm
snackies yet?
super excited to get in there. Yeah, no. Oh, actually, I lie. I did eat, now I'm going to fret what it was called, but it was a delicious chocolate that was made from coconut pulp. It was one of the brands that was sitting at our table. And now I feel really bad that I don't remember what it was, but it was delicious. Thank you for feeding me great chocolate.
Well, we'll figure it out later. Any other snacking trends that you're personally excited about in the market?
Gut health for me as a consumer has been something that I've been excited to be learning more about over the past few years. You mentioned prebiotics and probiotics. Yeah, I was at Expo West in March, and that was one of the biggest takeaways I had. I was like, oh my God, probiotics and everything. I'm excited that prebiotics are coming more into the conversation now. Obviously, we're working with Kara from Uplift Foods, and she's all about prebiotics. It's something that I had learned about as a consumer, and then when I met her, I was like, ooh, yes, prebiotics. So I'm excited about gut health. I think there's a lot of cool stuff coming. So,
Yeah. And we talk about plant-based, obviously, a lot.
Yeah.
Is that something that sort of frames how Mondelez is thinking about new brands? Like, does it kind of have to adhere to plant-based at this point?
I mean, we know it's huge, right? It's a big trend. I think there are brands within Mondelez that have been making plant-based snacks for a long time and just haven't been calling it that. So there's a little bit of a reframing happening. I think for us with Dirt Kitchen, our line is we believe the best things in life come from the dirt. And we really do. Like, plants are wonderful and veggies are wonderful. And we love veggies and we celebrate veggies. And so, again, we didn't really set out to develop a plant-based brand. We set out to develop something that would solve a problem for the consumer, and that led us to veggies. And so we're like, okay, this is cool. This is plant-based, and this is like completely on trend in what people are looking for. So, and we're evolving still too. Like, I don't know if I mentioned, but 2 of the flavors are vegan. The third one didn't start out vegan, but we're in the process of trying to reformulate it to get it to vegan, because that's also something people are looking for. They may not be vegan, but they're looking for vegan because they're looking to not have dairy, or because it's healthy, or they want to eat more plants. So, it's absolutely something that we have our eye on, of course, because it's a huge trend. And I think it's a wonderful trend because I love veggies.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It's so great to hear more about Dirt Kitchen, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you so
too.
much.
Thanks so much for watching NOSH. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ding that bell.